we're going to talk about how we can utilize CRM for more than just leads and getting customers in the door. Once we have a customer in the door, we want to make sure and keep that customer happy, and don't want them to go somewhere else. How many times have you, say, been with the same internet provider and you're watching your commercials and it's talking about all of these new and wonderful deals that you can get? Hey, sign up and internet's like $25 a month. And you're over here going, wait, I'm paying like $300. What's going on? So you want to make sure and keep those customers that you have happy. And I really think that acumatica does an awesome job in helping us utilize some of their tools to be able to see that information, right? We have I kind of have a couple of different formulas. I'm not going to go into a lot of deep detail on them, but on the recording, because this will be recorded and sent out to everybody, you can see how we find out what our customer experience would be. Okay. You have different type of case management, and I'm not talking about your IT support cases. I can be talking about any kind of billing support issue, any kind of accounting issue, any kind of shipping or sales order type issues. We also have our internal cases, which you can create if you have a new hire or something like that, and you have set steps that go through. Then you have internal cases with your business events, and it just steps through everything, keeps you kind of in check to make sure that you're doing everything you need, because maybe it's been a year or two that you've hired somebody, or you're hiring a whole bunch of people and you want to make sure and you get all of those steps completed. Okay. And then and of course marketing, which everyone knows kind of about the lead marketing and how you can use the marketing mass emails for that. But we also have our employee mass emails, or maybe you need to get with all of the partners and say, hey, system's going to be going down, and you can utilize that through acumatica. You don't have to do it outside. And then talk a little bit about the acumatica surveys that was implemented because there was a need during COVID and working from home. They just wanted a little touch point, and that was through some of the acumatica community and partners and stuff like that that helped come up with that. Let's go to my next page. This is that formula I was talking about. We can take the total number of customer interactions, which can be your shipments, your invoices, any kind of purchase order or anything like that, and how many times are you interacting with that one customer or vendor or whatnot, and then how many misses or how many issues came up with that. So 87% looks fairly decent, but if you take that same information and put it into individual work areas, then it comes down to a 72%. So you're like, oh, wait, that one billing issue, we've got a billing problem that we need to handle. Or maybe you can look at it and those shipment issues or those delivery issues, that could be an internal issue that we need to do some more retraining or something like that. So you can use it to help your actual customer experience, or to help your internal experience to say, hey, we need to do some more training on this or this. Say we've missed some deliveries. We need to make sure and highlight this one section that says next day. So the customer's really expecting it next day. We didn't get it to them for 2 days. That's on us because we weren't doing our best for that customer. So that could be a training issue that we need to handle. And then my most favorite dashboard out there, and it's like a standard acumatica dashboard, it's your customer view dashboard or your client view. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can tab over and show, this screen. Can we see? Yes, I think we can. So we are now in Acumatica. I have taken the customer view dashboard and I've added a couple of extra little widgets on here. I'm calling this my customer experience. This tells me how many issues we've had in the past 90 days. And then I've also added a support section down here, which this is for my customer, right? So I have shipment issues, I have billing issues, and then just some regular open cases for whatever reason that we've got. And just like on any of our dashboards, if you click on it, excuse me, gotten chilly here. You click on it and you can see all of your open cases. If you have an actual customer that you want to look at, you go in and look at that one particular customer. We now see a lot of green, but we do have a couple of shipment issues. And if you click on that, that opens them up. You have your missed shipments. You can see what happened to them. You can go in and verify if it was something on our side, if it was something possibly with the shipping company. Oh, brain went sideways on me. If it went with the shipping company, then you can go and you can have discussions with them. You're like, hey, I need to make this the best experience possible. What do I need to do to rectify that situation? All right. Oop, go back over here. Not the screen I wanted to share. This is the one I want. So we have our business accounts screen, which gives you a very holistic view of your customer that you're dealing with. My two tabs that I use most often is going to be your activities tab and your cases tab. If you are using your CRM to the best of your ability, you are going to put down any kind of communications that you are having with this customer in their account, because you can't have everything staying in your Outlook. If you take a day off or you take a couple of weeks off, nobody else is going to know what happened with that customer other than you. Kind of goes back to that cartoon that I showed. You know, they're like, hey, you got a system? Yep, I got everything in a wheelbarrow. Well, that helps him, but that doesn't help that other person coming in trying to help that client out. So if the client calls and says, hey, I haven't got an answer back from Christi for a while, what's going on? Oh, she's on vacation. Okay, can you help me? No. You know what? You can help when I do it, because I make sure and put all of my activities in here, because I want to make sure that customer is taken care of. This is on top of me already going out to my team saying, hey, I'm taking a couple of weeks off. Here's my open issues, right? This helps anybody in the company that has access to it. So if you know, if you're a salesman and you're trying to drum up some more sales, you can look at the activity, see if the customer's happy or not. Because if they're not happy, you probably don't want to sell to them yet, unless it's something that's going to help fix one of their issues or a couple of their issues that they're having problems with, right? You also use that with the cases. And then all of your cases tied to this particular customer, you have your different classes. And you can create a class for pretty much anything that you want to have a KPI on. If you want to make sure that your billing stuff is correct, I would create a billing case. If you want to make sure that your shipping issues, you know, if you have any shipping issues, I would create a shipping issue. So these can be customer related cases, but it's helping you as the provider know what needs to happen. It can help you do some internal training. It can help with just keeping the customer happy. And that's where I go into my little different case types here. We do have our internal and of course our billable, right? So if there are some actual support tickets that get caught up in or something like that, then those can be billed out or not, or the internal ones where it follows some, my brain just went blank. The internal would be more towards your HR type stuff, or use some information that you want to use the, I already went to that page. Business events, that's what I'm trying to talk of. So sorry about that. So these cases help feed metrics to go back to see what needs worked on. Okay, and everybody loves metrics, but sometimes they don't know how to use them. So having numbers doesn't really help unless you actually know what you're keeping track of. Okay. And then this is where I was talking about the holistic view of the customer. Anybody can go in there, see the activities. It helps other departments go looking to see what's going on, a better grasp of the business decisions for that specific customer. If you have a lot of product support issues, maybe you can let sales know and say, hey, customer needs some help with this. What can we do? What do we need to change in order to satisfy that customer's need, right? If you look into acuMatica and you look at your activities, you'll be able to see that for that customer, pretty much for any customer. And how I do that is through the Outlook integration. This thing is a lifesaver. You don't have to keep all of that information in Outlook. You don't have to create folders out there and say, okay, well, I'm dealing with this customer. What did I send them? What did they send me? It's already on the customer's tab, right? Customer's account. And the way that you use that is if you get an email that comes in, if that email address is already tied to a contact in acuMatica, it comes up and gives you an option to log activity, which your activity is on that other screen I showed you, where it can be just a case activity, it could be an opportunity, it can be just to log it as a contact, just log that information in the system, so that way anybody in the system can see what's going on between everybody else, right? If that client or if that email doesn't have a contact, you can actually create a contact through the Outlook integration. If you create that contact, you can then either create it as a lead or create it and tie it to the business account. So now you have all of that information tied into that customer, that business account, and you don't have to worry about searching through Outlook, because I'm terrible at that. Even though I have folders for everybody, I'm terrible trying to find what I'm really trying to find. We talked about the business events a little bit, or I talked about it a little bit. You can create business events, which helps with cases by sending out reminders, which follows a standard process. These are examples. It's like I've got a case out there and I'm like, okay, I'm looking for more information. This little notification went out saying, hey, I need information. And then I've got another trigger out there that says after 5 days of that initial email that went out, if I don't have a reply back, I'm going to send another email out that says, hey, I need your information. I haven't received it yet. This business events are so much easier to handle than putting notifications or reminders on your calendar, because what if you're gone on that 5th day? You took a vacation day, or you were sick that day or something. Instead of you coming back the next day and saying, oh, I've got to send all of these reminders out, it's already sent it for you. So the system went out there, it sent the email out, and we're waiting for that information to come back in. Well, here it is 10 days later, still don't have the information. So we're pretty much thinking, okay, it must be either resolved itself, they found a solution, or it's not really an issue anymore. So an email is going to go out and say, okay, it's been 10 days, no information, no reply back, so we're going to go ahead and close this case. Then they'll probably sit there and go, oh, wait a minute, I still have an issue. either reopen the case, create a new case, something like that. But usually when they get that email that says closed, then they're like, oh, wait, I really have to do something. That happened to me yesterday, actually. And this is just the little standardized email that goes out, which you're pretty much all familiar with. Anything that has the little double parentheses, that goes out to the database and pulls that information in. So it knows who the contact is. It knows what the case ID number is. It's got the subject line. So it goes out there and pulls all that information in. Instead of you having to have two screens open, you've got your acumatica screen, you have your Outlook screen, and you're hand typing all of this stuff in. Hey, Mr. So-and-so, it's already there. It sends it out for you. It's so much easier to deal with than you trying to have to click and see what information needs to be done. Then I was talking a little bit earlier about those internal marketing lists. You can say you have your employees and you know that you do end of the year reviews every year, say on December 1st. So November 1st, you want to go in there and you want to send an email to all of your employees that says, hey, end of the year is coming up. We need to go ahead and start looking at our performance review or something like that. Instead of you having to put that on your calendar in Outlook every year, you can set this up to have a marketing list, schedule it. It schedules every year. So if you have new employees that have come on or other employees that have gone off, your employee list is pretty much up to date. You keep that up to date. You keep your Acumatica working because it's a live breathing system. You keep that up to date. So you don't have to remember if you have that work group or if you have that outlet group that you've created, with everybody's name in it. You don't have to worry about if you've missed anybody. Acumatica has their employees, they're active. It goes out and it sends this email to everybody. And if you have any links or anything that you want to put in there, you can do that also. And then this dashboard, this survey. This survey thing was really cool in my opinion. I mean, COVID-19 hit every company out there, and there was a need for, we just kind of have to get a pulse on our employee people or our internal people. We just need to get a pulse on there, so a team got together between Acumatica, community partners, acuCONNECT people. I mean, they went through and they're like, hey, let's see what we can do. Let's make this survey available on the app. So somebody goes out there and you have that app downloaded on your phone, and all of a sudden you get a notification that says there's a survey. And you're like, what? And that's your COVID-19 survey. Hey, here's our wellness. How you doing today? Just checking base. You're working from home. I can't physically see you. Are you okay? Do you need a break? Do you need, what do you need from me to help you? And I don't have an actual, I don't have this survey in my system, but I do have the YouTube video linked, and I do have some of the screenshots. Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Christi, you might want to just click the little hide button on that thing so that people can copy down the link.
I'm so sorry. Thank you. I didn't realize that was up on my screen too. I just thought it was for me.
I didn't notice it until it was covering the link.
So sorry. Yes. And this YouTube video walks you through how they did it, kind of like the background. Share in, yeah, I can share that. Give me a minute and I can share that. Okay, Candace? And then they've created a little dashboard, and dashboards are just like any other dashboard in the system, right? Click and it drills down into the more information. I'm going to go ahead. Let's get that link for you real quick since I'm right here. Oh, it's not going to let me save it that way. So copy the link. And then paste. watch this. Let's go over here. This is being complicated. Let's copy and paste this way. See if this way works. There we go. Took me a minute, but I got it there for you. So sorry. All right. And then a little bit more on the surveys is these are the different surveys that they have out. Here's, you know, when they drill down, here's the answers that they did for you. Whatever kind of information you needed, right? This is what I was talking about. You get a little notification on your screen, and you can either click your little hamburger guy to get to your surveys, or you can click on the surveys or survey view at the bottom of your screen. This is your mobile device. Answer the questions. It links into Acumatica. You have that full survey menu. You have that full dashboard. Whoever's created the survey, they get that information back. Then you can go from there depending on what your need is for that survey. So instead of using, say, MailChimp, or not MailChimp, who's that survey? Instead of using an outside or third-party survey, it's in Acumatica. So, and you can have a business event set up that says, hey, if this shipment is closed, it's been 3 days, send this survey out. SurveyMonkey, yes, there we go. So if you have that survey that goes out, then you don't have to do anything. It's got the survey. It knows that it's for, say, a shipping or a sales order type issue or whatnot. Just check base with you. Hey, did you get everything you needed? Is everything working? I mean, it could be as easy as 2 little questions. Everything works? Or an empty space that says, hey, no, it's not working, type in whatever. So you have your business events tied to your surveys, which is all tied to Acumatica. You don't have to try to remember to go out to SurveyMonkey and read all that information. It's in Acumatica. And if I remember right, it's on the customer also. So if they replied, that would be like one of your activities. They've replied. You can see their customer reply. So I think I am pretty much wrapped up a little bit early because my next slide is, yay, I finished. Just want to say that I did go over a few calculations to help gauge your customer experience. Went through and how to capture your data metrics for anything other than tech support issues. We want to make better decisions for our customers, and those KPIs are what's going to actually help you. Talked about how business events help you move your internal cases along. It can help you with your surveys. Once an order goes out, then you can sit there and you can get that survey to send out to make sure that customers happy with their shipment. The marketing module, we talked about how we can use that for more than just leads. You can send them out to your vendors or your employees. Use that marketing module for anything like that. And again, that survey thing was just so neat to learn about. I really want to start implementing that within our staff, but I've got to figure out how we're going to do that because, like I said, we don't really have a sales order that we would ship out, but we do have a service, you know. So say at the end of the project, we want to go in and make sure that the project went well. And other than our meeting, you know, maybe 6 months down the road, we can send out a little reminder, a little survey reminder that says, hey, did you do good? Are we still working okay? Need anything help? Because how many people have suffered in silence? I had a lady call me yesterday. She's like, I've been trying to figure out where to get that notification and I can't find it. I was like, oh, honey, it's right here. You know, it's like, just let us know. And maybe that was on me. I should have touched base with her a little bit more just to say, hey, how you doing? I haven't heard from you in a while, you know. So that could be some of the business events maybe. I need to write that down. I think my boss is listening in on me, so she'll remind me. You know, if we haven't had any cases come in a while, maybe we need to reach out to them. You know, we can't just guess that everything's going good, because if they're not saying anything, doesn't really mean everything's going good, right? So does anybody have any questions for me?
I just had a comment.
Yes.
I really like the idea of using case. Like, I think that when people think about cases, maybe even especially for us, where we think about cases as in like, oh, you're requesting support. I really like encouraging people to think about cases as to other ways that you can use them, as far as whether it be billing questions or anything else. I know some people look at implementing like the acuCONNECT customer portal, right? And your customers can create cases automatically on the acuCONNECT customer portal. And, you know, even if you're a business that's not doing like any sort of tech support or anything like that, it could just be like, hey, I have a question about where my order's at. And then you can run various different business events and case assignment rules to assign that maybe to the sales rep who's assigned to that account, or, you know, other different ways of utilizing cases. So I really loved this concept of, you know, how can you utilize CRM in acuCONNECT for other things? I think it's just a really interesting idea.
Yeah, I like it. It's helped us, I think.
Yeah. Okay, does anybody have any questions? I know we've got quite a few people still here. Mike said, really like the idea of more touches.
Yes.
Great presentation today, Christi. Thank you so much for participating in this with us. Again, if anyone has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I think we're right about on time though. You did excellent time. Not like me, who runs over because I jibber jabber too much. You timed it really well.
Hey, that's okay. I did this a couple of times and I'm like, ooh, I only got 20 minutes. Wait, I need 30. I get nervous and talk fast.
Everyone seems to really like it. It was a great presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And what do we just looking to see what we have going on next on our schedule? It looks like next up on the acuCONNECT schedule, we have NetStock, one of our gold sponsors. Yep, it just popped up there. Everybody on the team is right on schedule. Yep. So NetStock session is coming up next. So everybody can head over to that session. And again, all of these videos are going to be posted, and we're going to be sharing these with everybody who attended. So keep an eye out for those. If you joined late or anything else, there will be session recordings available as well. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.